Katie, where is page 7 of my script?
I don't think there is a page 7 of the script. Wait, didn't you write this?
See, I thought so.
Guys, I think we're live. Hello, everyone, and you're watching BaronCenter, brought to you by the Baron Broadcast. I am Christian Kleb.
I'm certainly not.
Yes. And along with Katie Rhodes over there, we're excited to present you with the first episode of the year. Once a month, we'll be providing you with behind-the-scenes updates on all things Franciscan athletics, from team scores and lineup changes to athlete profiles and individual achievements. We're excited to have you.
We'd like to begin our broadcast today with a focus on two individuals who this year have made the leap from assistant to head coach, Christian Boback and Dan Kramer. Katie?
Thanks, not Christian. Christian Boback and Dan Kramer this year have each assumed the title of head coach. Boback for men's soccer and Kramer for rugby. Each was a member of their sport during their time here at Franciscan, and each is intent on allowing their athletes to grow not only on the field, but also as men of faith. Head coach Boback was handed a promising men's soccer team, one that finished 6-11-1, netting 37 goals and averaging 2 per game. The preseason poll listed the men's soccer team as 6th out of 10 teams, but Boback expects more. In his own words, quote, "I hope and expect that we finish higher than that. The boys are committed this year and it shows with the results." He says his adjustments to the role of head coach are larger than what the fans see on the field. He says, quote, "I'm learning all the behind the scenes as far as paperwork and what really goes on. Learning a lot of things other than coaching you have to worry about. Sometimes you just want to get out there and coach." Back to you guys.
Thanks, Katrina. The learning process is a fluid one. During our interview, Boback told me that he understands his chemistry with the team will take time, but he says he's encouraged by the results so far. Quote, "The team is still learning how I do things," he said. "It was good that I was the assistant, so they got to know me for a year, and they have responded in an amazing way." He also cited team captains Joseph Duran and Dominic Vanderwoody as two of the players who have helped his transition from assistant to head coach. The solid leadership of both coaches and upperclassmen will really be vital for this team down the road. Christian?
Thanks, Christian. From the sidelines last year, assistant coach Dan Kramer watched the Franciscan men's rugby team lose to Robert Morris in the championship game. Now, a year removed from the loss, Kramer, now new head coach, anticipates a season that will showcase just how far his rugby players can come in a year. The team dynamic begins with what Kramer calls, quote, "a great rookie class." According to Kramer, they're picking up the dynamic of the sport quickly. During his interview, he said that all 15 guys are out there playing rugby, no matter the position or body type. He says that they're playing as one team. Kateri?
Thanks, Christian. Kramer understands the true importance of the sport. Quote, "It's not about winning rugby games for us," he said. "Winning rugby games is an afterthought." He made it clear that the focus of this year's rugby squad is about growing in holiness, and that success on the field is a byproduct of success in other aspects of life. The team remains focused on returning to regional tournaments and on qualifying for nationals. We'll keep you updated. Back to you, Christian.
Thanks, Karina. It's great to see two teams already playing under the new head coaches.
Absolutely, and playing well. And their records so far this season definitely reflect that growth.
So one thing, guys, my name's actually Katie.
All right, so there's, we're actually talking about new coaches here, Kimberly, so.
Right, and part of growing up is learning to accept our mistakes, Crystal.
Moving on. This September included the second annual Rosary Rally, an event hosted by the university's athletic department and the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. Athletes gathered in the Finnegan Fieldhouse to officially kick off the fall athletics season with a group rosary led by SAC representatives from different varsity teams.
At the beginning of the fourth decade, candles were lit collectively, effectively unifying the athletes in a faith experience meant to bolster the spiritual lives of all those present. It was an event by athletes, for athletes, and its effects will be felt throughout the course of the fall athletics season.
Proving that we don't need a football team to complete a Hail Mary.
You're over there for a reason, Kelly. Franciscan Athletics just completed its annual Side Out Foundation Dig Pink Day on September 10th to benefit breast cancer research.
The Lady Barons volleyball team faced Marietta College and found themselves down in the first set, 10-3. But clutch serving from sophomores Maria Ciola and Becca Haven gave the Lady Barons their first lead, 17-16. The women pulled out a tight first set, 25-23, and almost immediately took a 7-point lead in the second, ultimately taking both the second and third sets, 25-18. Ciola led all Barons with 10 kills, while Haven posted 28 assists.
The Side Out Foundation Dig Pink Day raises funds and awareness, both of which further the efforts of breast cancer research. Franciscan University's Dig Pink Day is only one of many held around the nation, as the athletes compete for a cause greater than the final score of the day. 75% of the proceeds raised are donated directly to Side Out cancer research efforts, and the remaining 25% was gifted to the Terramana Cancer Center Tier Fund.
Thanks, Kylie.
My pleasure, Carmelo.
2 weeks ago, both the men's and women's cross-country teams competed in the annual Franciscan Invite. The race, the only home meet for the Barons this season, began and ended on the intramural fields, taking the runners through the golf course and the woods.
Both the men and women placed first in their respective races. Nick Long was the first male finisher for Franciscan with a blistering 8K time of 32:31. First for the women was Grace Gallagher, whose 2022 time was good enough for first place in the race and a new course record.
We'd also like to take a moment to spotlight some of the athletes who have stood out during this fall season. Leo Herman yet again headlines a revamped men's soccer roster. The junior ranks among the top goal scorers in the nation with 13. Herman also scored his 100th career point during the team's recent win over conference opponent Hilbert. He is the youngest Baron to record the feat.
At women's volleyball, sophomore Maria Ciola has already registered 169 kills on the year, to go with her 162 digs. After sweeping the AMCC quad match, things are looking up for a Lady Barons squad aiming to reach the conference finals.
Women's soccer is benefiting from the talent of junior midfielder Megan Riederer. Her dominant presence in the middle of the field holds the team together, and her on-field intelligence lends itself to smart decisions with the ball. The Lady Barons' 17 goals are encouraging as conference play gets underway.
Men's tennis is fortunate to have RJ Watson returning for his second consecutive season. The sophomore looks a year older on the court, and he has a 3-1 match record so far this fall season to show for it. Already playing up 3 singles and 1 double spot from last spring's lineup, Watson's improvement can only help a men's tennis team pursuing its 5th consecutive AMCC title and another NCAA tournament berth.
John, didn't you lose your first doubles match last season?
Yeah.
Well, women's tennis currently boasts a 10-3 record, one they're putting on the line as they prepare to face non-conference opponent West Liberty University. Sophomore Maria Bennett won her first 10 matches on the way to a 17-9 record. The Lady Barons seek to return to the top of the AMCC and earn an NCAA bid. Head coach Jeremy Ellis will depend on Bennett to continue the solid tennis she's displayed in early season matches.
Men's rugby benefits from the fact that senior Jimmy Kieber literally cannot be brought down to the ground by any less than 3 men. A leader on the team, Kieber plays wing for the Barons, and his commanding presence on the field serves as an example for the mass of underclassmen who will serve as the future of the organization. Dominating their most recent opponent, Point Park, by a score of 32-12, the Barons appear more than ready to reclaim the championship that eluded them a season ago. Christian?
Thanks, Rihanna. Before we go, we'd like to preview where every team stands heading into the postseason. Women's tennis has secured the #1 seed heading into the conference tournament with its most recent win over Pitt Greensburg. They take on West Liberty on Saturday, October 8th. Men and women's cross country continue to prepare for the AMCC meet to take place on October 30th.
Men's rugby has outscored opponents 101-26 in just their last 2 games and look to put away their 3 remaining conference opponents before their postseason tournament begins. Their next matchup is Saturday against Geneva College. And women's volleyball aims to bounce back from 2 close losses as the conference playoffs await them later in October. They plan to put their 2-2 conference record on the line October 12th against Mount Aloysius College.
Men's soccer recorded its 3rd straight shutout win this past Saturday. They look to position themselves well with the 6 teams slated to make the end-of-season conference tournament for the first time in school history. Women's soccer has little time to rest after their most recent 2-0 shutout victory over conference opponent DeUville College. The ladies have 6 games remaining on their regular season schedule, all of them pivotal conference matchups as they look to make the playoffs for the 2nd time in program history. Both the women and men take on conference opponent Pitt Bradford this Saturday at 1 and 3:15 p.m. respectively.
That's all from us. Thank you so much for watching, Baron fans. Be sure to follow us on social media to get the latest on sports scores and athletic updates.
On behalf of the entire staff here at the Baron Broadcast, our producer Chris McGurn, his immaculate head of hair, our camera crew, our audio and video editors, and Christian and Kendall, my fellow anchors.
It's still Katie. How many
That's all
times?
from us. Stay classy, Franciscan.
We'll see you in October.
Wait, we're doing this again?